The Committee on House Finance comes to order. Please, Clerk, please open the roll. Members, please record your attendance. Delegate Sullivan is coming, and he's here. Please close the roll. And we now definitely have a quorum. Members, before us, we have two reports of subcommittees, but first I have some administrative actions that are shown on the docket. First, HB 1581 Ballard will be incorporated into the firearm safety device tax credit defining commercial dealers. This takes a motion and a voice vote. It has been moved and seconded that we incorporate HB 1581 into HB 2595. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? The next one, HB 2248, Runyon, has to do with the sales tax on aircraft components. And the motion that has been requested is to incorporate this bill into HB 1729. May I hear a voice vote? May I hear a motion? Second. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? The next one, HB 2667, Taylor, which deals with a bill defining currently not collectible status. The motion that would be in order is to incorporate this into HB 2549 on the same subject. It has been moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? And just for the information of anyone who's following any other bills, the bill that is any bill is being incorporated into has to be on the docket. So there may be some incorporations at a later time of bills that may have had a hearing at one or another subcommittee, but the bill being incorporated into has to be on our docket. Therefore, I think we are now ready to hear the report from Subcommittee 1, Delegate Munden King.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Subcommittee number 1 met and reported, took the following actions. First, on House Bill 1868 by Delegate Fagans was recommended to report on a vote of 8-0, and I so move.
Second.
Any discussion? Clerk, please open the roll. Members,
sorry, Chair Watts, could I?
if you would, if we're suspend that motion, if you can withdraw the motion, please, on the individual bill. If you would please report in a block the uncontested bills from your subcommittee, or do you have amendments?
We have a technical amendment, and I will let the staff describe.
And we are still on HB 1868, the motion to pass being withdrawn. Clerk.
And there, I understand there's a technical amendment. Is it available online, Madam Chair?
Council, if you would please report the technical amendment.
Madam Chair, the amendment is technical. It corrects a typo in the bill. That's all.
Do we know the line?
18, Madam Chair. After was the, we are striking the letter A.
Thank you for picking up on that. All those in favor of that technical line amendment, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, now the bill is before us as amended. Again, we can still take this as a block. Would you please report 1896, which you also believe have recommended unanimously?
Yes. So House Bill 1868 and House Bill 1896 were both recommended unanimously. House Bill 1896 is an exemption for real property tax. It provides that the property of an organization that is tax exempt by classification includes the property of a single member limited liability company. Both were reported out of the subcommittee on a vote of 8-0, and I so move.
Second. It has been moved and seconded that the block of uncontested bills, HB 1868 as amended and 1896 be reported. Clerk, please open the roll as a block on those two bills. Members, cast your vote. The block of two bills passes by unanimously a vote of 21-0.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Next up in the uncontested block, we have House Bill 1579 by Delegate Moorfield, and this is a bill that extends the sunset from January 1st, 2026 to January 1st, 2028 for local gas road improvement and Virginia Coalfield Economic Development Authority tax. It was recommended by the subcommittee to report on a vote of 7-1, and I so move.
Is there a second?
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that we report HB 1579. Is there any discussion? Clerk, please open the roll. Members, cast your vote. Close the roll. HB 1579 reports on a vote of 19 to 2.
Thank you, Madam Chair. House Bill 1792 by Delegate Orrock raises the assessment threshold at which a local treasurer or other responsible officer for collecting taxes has the authority to sell real property. It was recommended by the subcommittee to report on a vote of 5-3, and I so move.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that we report HB 1792. Any discussion? Please open the roll. Members, cast your vote. HB 1792 passes unanimously by a vote of 20-0.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Next up is House Bill 1939 by Delegate Reed, and this establishes a separate classification of tangible personal property for electric-powered landscaping equipment. The subcommittee recommended reporting on a vote of 5-3, and I so move.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
It has been moved and seconded that we report HB 1939. Is there any discussion? Clerk, please open the roll. Members, cast your vote. HB 1939 is reported by a vote of 12-9.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Next up is House Bill 2029. The subcommittee recommended reporting on a vote of 5-3 with amendment. However, if the members will check on the system, the patron has an additional amendment, and Madam Chair, if okay with you, I would like the patron to explain that amendment.
Delegate Hernandez, please explain the additional amendment.
Thank you, Madam Chair. So there was a question in subcommittee last time, a good question about an example in Virginia law where taxes owed can be waived. And after looking into it more and speaking with the treasurers, the answer is actually yes. There's a good example of in section 58.1-3994, which deals with offers in compromise. Basically, this is a general law in the books since 2004. That code allows a treasurer or commissioner of the revenue to compromise and settle a tax amount due after determination that collecting the entire amount is in substantial doubt and that the best interest of the locality will be served by the compromise. So our bill, the amendment, adds reference to this section of the code, which specifically deals with property tax relief for seniors and people with disabilities. And with this amendment, I'm happy to say that the Treasurers Association, VML, and VACO all support the bill.
Thank you. If we may then take up this additional
Madam
amendment. May I
Chairman.
hear a motion?
Parliamentary inquiry.
Bill has to be on the floor first and then?
Do we not need to adopt the subcommittee amendments first, and then I think the patron's amendment would be subsequent to that?
And what I need to know, Mr. Parliamentarian, is does not the bill have to be moved first and then the
No.
amendments? The
No.
other way around? Thank you. All right. So if you would so move the subcommittee amendments as recommended.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'd like to move the subcommittee recommendations.
It's been moved and seconded that the amendments approved by the subcommittee be incorporated into the bill. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Are there additional amendments?
Uh,
That's yours now.
Yes. I move the amendments just presented by the delegate.
It's been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion on the amendment that you just heard discussed?
Madam Chair, all of the amendments are made in a substitute, actually. So we incorporated the ones from subcommittee and then these additional ones from Delegate Hernandez. So they're all in one substitute now. My apologies.
Thank you. Let us adopt first Delegate Hernandez. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Therefore, I believe the proper motion is to move HB 2029 substitute as amended.
And I so move.
With a substitute.
Is there any further discussion? Clerk, please open the roll. Members, cast your vote. HB 2029 is reported with substitute as amended by a vote of 15 to 5.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Next up is HB 2239 by Delegate Cousins, and this extends a sunset from July 2024 to July 2028 for Richmond, which authorizes localities that issue bonds on or after January 1st, 2013. The subcommittee recommended reporting on a vote of 5 to 3, and I so move.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that the committee report HB 2239. Any discussion? Clerk, please open the roll. Members, cast your vote. Close the roll. HB 2239 passes by a vote of 12 to 8.
Thank you, Madam Chair. And the final bill from this subcommittee is House Bill 2383 by yours truly, which provides that an accommodations provider shall not be required to transmit a transient occupancy tax return to a locality. This is fixing this is a compromise on a longstanding issue to provide transparency to localities around the transient occupancy tax information. The subcommittee recommended reporting on a vote of 7 to 1, and I so move.
Is there a second? Is there any discussion of this bill, longstanding issue? And please use request to speak if you do. Madam Clerk, please open the roll. Members, cast your vote. Close the roll. HB 2383 passes on a vote of 18 to 2.
Thank you, Madam Chair. That concludes the report from Subcommittee Number 1.
Thank you, Madam Chair and members of the committee who meet at 7 a.m. on Mondays. We will next take up the Subcommittee Report Number 2, and again, I would ask you to move as a block all of the amendments and substitutes for the bill in the uncontested block, and then explain each one, each bill, and then we will vote on them as a block.
Madam Chair, if there's a bill we'd like to move from the uncontested block, should we ask that it be done so now or after the report?
After the report?
Thank you.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Thank
I will
you.
call for any others also at that time.
Thank you, Madam Chair. As you just asked, for the sake of efficiency, I would like to move all of the substitutes for this block in a block before describing the individual bills.
It's been moved and seconded to adopt all of the amendments and substitutes as a block for the uncontested report of Subcommittee 2. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Proceed.
Thank you, Madam Chair. First, House Bill 1572 from Delegate Ware as substituted. This bill is a Section 1 bill that directs the Department of Taxation to collect data on certain cigar sales. Next, House Bill 1729 by Delegate Delaney. As substituted, the bill extends the sunset date on the sales and use tax exemption for aircraft parts, supplies, and engines for 3 years. Next, House Bill 2595 from Delegate Singh. As substituted, the bill allows firearm safety devices purchased from commercial retailers, as defined in the bill, to qualify for the firearm safety device tax credit. Next, House Bill 2643 from Delegate McNamara increases from $150 to $1,000 the maximum underpayment of estimated tax for which no addition to tax shall be added. And finally, my bill, House Bill 2653, would add a sunset after this tax year for the qualified equity and subordinated debt investments tax credit, which is a JLARC recommendation from 2022. Madam Chair, that is the block.
And before I call for the vote, so we have HB 1729 removed from the block. Is there a request by any other member to remove any other bill? If not, a motion is in order to report the block absent 1729.
Madam Chair, I so move.
Is there a second? Is there a second? Second. Madam Clerk, please open the roll. Members, cast your vote on the remaining bills. We'll just wait to get the... Members, cast your vote on the 4 bills on the block. Madam Chair, please close the roll. Madam Clerk, the block is reported by a vote of 21-0. And now, is there any discussion on HB 1729? If not, a motion's in order.
Madam Chair, I so move.
Second.
Okay. Waiting to get it up. Does anyone wish to speak to 1729 while we're waiting for the vote? If not, members, we're ready. Clerk, please open the roll. Members, cast your vote. Members, close the roll. Subcommittee 2, HB 1729 is reported by a vote of, and I lost track, I believe it was 14-7. I will take the chair's prerogative that I would interpret this for anyone who is watching the proceedings. This is a procedural vote. This bill is part of the omnibus package of extending sunsets to allow a review of all sunsets in the next year. This is a procedural, not on the merits at this point. The merits will be discussed by the omnibus committee either way, actually. Perhaps, well, no, I can't scratch whatever I said, the last part. So now, with all of that erudite, thank you, I will pick up on that in just a moment. Subcommittee Chairman Bennett Parker, please proceed with your report for Subcommittee 2 on those that were on the contested report, one at a time.
Thank you, Madam Chair. First, House Bill 1701 from Delegate Bulova extends the sunset of the Housing Opportunity Tax Credit, increases the aggregate cap, and ensures that 1/3 of the credit is reserved for rural areas. The subcommittee recommended reporting and referring to appropriations 7-0 with 1 abstention, and I so move.
And it has been moved and seconded that HB 1701 be reported and re-referred to appropriations. Clerk, please open the roll. Members, cast your vote. Please close the roll. HB 1701 Committee's vote is 18-1 to report and refer to appropriations. HB 1997, back. Please proceed.
Thank you, Madam Chair. House Bill 1997 from Delegate McNamara removes the sunset on the elective entity tax on pass-through entities, which is currently set to expire. The subcommittee recommended reporting 6-2, and I so move.
Is there any, it has been moved and seconded that HB 1997 be reported. Any discussion? Clerk, please open the roll. Members, cast your vote. HB 1997 is recommended to be, it is reported by a vote of 16-5. And again, my prerogative, this is another procedural vote. In this particular case, I actually introduced that legislation initially. And so it's not on the substance, it's on procedure. The next one is, please proceed with 2114.
Thank you, Madam Chair. House Bill 2114 by Delegate Keys-Gamarra removes provisions requiring that the period of limitations on tax collection by the Department of Taxation be suspended during the effective period of an installment agreement between a taxpayer and the tax commissioner for the payment of income taxes. The subcommittee recommended reporting 5-3, and I so move.
It has been moved and seconded that HB 2114 be reported. Any discussion? Hearing none, clerk, please open the roll. Members, cast your vote. I'm sorry. Please close the roll. HB 2114 is reported on a vote of 12-9.
Madam Chair, House Bill 2264 from Delegate Tran. First, I move the amendments.
And I have received a letter that this is to be referred to 2264 if reported. So if you would amend your motion, please.
Madam Chair, I had just moved the amendments and not the bill yet, so I believe we just need to.
All right, please do so. Okay, so we're now voting on the amendments. All those in favor of the amendments, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Don't think we need to vote.
Thank you, Madam Chair. This bill reestablishes the Virginia Direct File Program. The subcommittee recommended reporting with amendments 5-3, and so I move to report with amendments and refer to appropriations.
It has been moved and seconded that HB 2264 as amended be reported and re-referred to appropriations. Any discussion? All those in, clerk, please open the roll. Members, cast your vote. HB 2264 is reported with amendments and we referred to appropriations by a vote of 12-9. Please proceed.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Finally, House Bill 2549 from Delegate Clark. First, I move the substitute.
So moved. Second.
It's been moved and seconded. The substitute has been moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Thank you, Madam Chair. This bill aligns Virginia's tax collection practices with the federal government's and many other states by creating a currently not collectible status and allowing taxpayers to apply to the commissioner for this status. The subcommittee recommended reporting the substitute 5-3, and I so move.
It's been moved and seconded that we report
Madam Chair.
2549. Are there any questions or
Madam Chair,
comments?
sorry, can we move a new substitute? It contains a technical amendment from the new fiscal impact statement that was just released. All it does is adds a delayed effective date so they have time.
Madam Chair,
Madam
you
Chair,
have that
I
in
would
front of you?
move that technical amendment. Substitute.
It has been moved and seconded that the technical amendment as reported in the FIS statement be added to the substitute. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? And now we're back to the main motion, which would be to report the substitute as amended.
I so move, Madam Chair.
Just report with substitute is good.
It has been moved and seconded to report the substitute as amended. Any questions, I will just offer that questions that were raised in subcommittee, this applies only to individuals. Tax Department indicates that the structure of collection, this particular code section only applies to individuals. Clerk, please open the roll. Members, cast your vote. Report with substitute as amended by a vote of 12 to 8. 13 to 8, because I've got my vote on there. Now I'm seeing everyone who, okay. Now, if I may announce the vote one more time as we close the roll, HB 2549 with substitute as amended is reported by a vote of 12 to 9. I haven't seen, is there any other business to come before the full committee? If not, thank you subcommittees very much for your work. We stand adjourned.